All right, this is a mini lesson on connecting clauses using colons and semicolons. If you have two sentences, two complete thoughts that would stand alone, make sense on their own, those are called independent clauses, by the way, you can join them with just a semicolon, which is the little comma with a period on top thing. So the clause, Lindsay missed the bus to the aquarium, and the clause, she didn't get to feed the sharks, are both standalone independent clauses. So you can join them by just putting a semicolon between them. This, by the way, makes it look like you put a space before the semicolon. You don't. No space before, there's a space after, though. Of course, you can also join two sentences that stand alone with a comma and a coordinating conjunction, which narrating calls fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet. So the sentences we used before could be joined also as Lindsay missed the bus to the aquarium, comma, and she didn't get to feed the sharks. You could, of course, also just put a period after aquarium and capitalize she. Now, if instead of using a fanboys, a coordinating conjunction, used a SWABI, a subordinating conjunction, which are since, when, after, because, if, there's other ones. If you put one of those between them, you don't even need a comma. Lindsay missed the bus to the aquarium because she slept through her alarm. By the way, just to make it more complicated, if you switch the order of the sentences, put because she slept through her alarm first, then you do need a comma. But if you listen to the way you say it, you do pause there, so comma makes sense. Because she slept through her alarm, Lindsay missed the bus to the aquarium. You don't pause the other way around. Lindsay missed the bus to the aquarium because she slept through her alarm. So I'm not sure what it is, but it is. All right. Now, when you put a thamo, which is therefore, however, also, moreover, otherwise, and again, there's others. When you put a thamo between two complete thoughts, two independent clauses, you put a semicolon before the thamo and a comma after it. Mark really likes bananas, semicolon. However, comma, he's not in the mood for one now. So you always wrap it up. Semicolon before, comma after. Again, though, this makes sense. You're still separating two sentences with a semicolon. You're just sliding a thamo in to show something about the relationship between the two clauses, and you pause after the thamo, so you need a comma there. By the way, when the thamo is not in between the clauses, but in the middle of one of them, you just surround the thamo with commas instead of a semicolon and a comma. Dave loved his dog, period. Bringing it to class, comma, however, comma, was a mistake. You pause before and after the thamo when you say the sentence aloud so the commas fit naturally. By the way, I said there's more than those 5 thamos. You can look through this list here. I won't read it aloud to you. I'm going to skip a lot of this other stuff because it's just repetitive. Go straight to colons. So finally, colons. You don't really use colons much. You can use them to introduce lists, to introduce quotations, and for this lesson, they join two complete thoughts when the second complete thought explains or expands on something in the first. So, this is my point, colon. If we buy Judy a plane, she might take us for a ride. All right, the element in the first sentence, this is my point, that is expanded on in the second sentence is point. What is the point? The point is, if we buy Judy a plane, she might take us for a ride. So you might think of all that second sentence kind of wrapped up in that one word point. And after the colon, you expand it again. All right, you would not join those two sentences with a comma. For one thing, you can't join two independent clauses with just a comma. You'd have to use a fanboy. But even if you added a fanboy, none of them really fit there. None of them make sense there. So you wouldn't use a comma there. You also wouldn't use a semicolon, though. You use a semicolon to join two clauses when the second introduces something new. Karina is a great leader, semicolon, I will vote for her as president. The second one doesn't just expand on something in the first one, it brings in new ideas. But up here, if we buy Judy a plane, she might take us for a ride. That's the point. Okay, other examples of using colons to join two complete thoughts. Mrs. Kelly's rule was clear. Don't chew gum in her classroom. This time, rule is the word that's expanded. The rule is don't chew gum in her classroom. Ben's idea was smart. Only give his sister the cookie after she'd solved the math problem. Here, idea. What's the idea? The idea is only give his sister the cookie after she solved the math problem. So that's colons. Limited use. You don't have to memorize a whole lot for that.